Are we live? Are we live, guys? Are we live? I think we're live. I think we're live, and we are jumping into a couple games here. Well, not a couple games. We are jumping into the second part of our first video, our video that we did yesterday. The replays just discovered now, or else I would have all done it in one video, but yeah, we're gonna go over extra thanks wins against evil. These are all of his wins. As we can see, he's not Zerg this time, so that always does help. Let me turn this music off here. Let me just make sure everything is good to go. Oh yeah, that was my stream, listening to myself. Alright, dope. We are rolling now. Cool. So yeah, we do have Mr. Thanks as Protoss. He is going for the mid build as the going for the mid build. Yeah, just that's going to be his choice of openers. Our Terran here going for the standard depot first, and then his barracks right afterwards. I don't know if that probe looks like he went up there and actually did get a scout off. I wasn't fully paying attention, but it does look like he did get pretty lucky and scout first. Judging by the path on the minimap, doesn't look like the Terran has moved out, only the Protoss, so I think it's safe to say, no thanks for delivering the replays. Thank you, Premier. Big shout out to Premier, yes. My boy Premier getting the replays. I don't know how. I messaged thanks. He must have got them from Evil. Did you get them from Evil or what? You must have, because thanks completely ignored me. And, or not ignored it, he actually messaged me back saying he deleted them, which made it even more suspicious, made the conspiracy even more juicy, but then Premier comes and just drops the replays magically. And yeah, we're going to be able to watch them. So yes, thank you, Premier, aka, what is that letter? RJB. Mr. RJB, thank you, sir. So Evil, yes, is going to be going for the 3 racks. He is throwing down a bunker as he did see that it is a Protoss, and the Protoss is building a pylon in the base. He's going to be macroing pretty hard off of the 3 gate. He did go for the 3 gate, which is the most standard mid build, and he does have the forge follow-up, so he is going to be looking for a light cannon push. Mr. Evil should have a lot of experience versus this because this is an old school and probably the most common build for Koreans, Protosses, for aggressive Protoss players. This is what you can expect from most players. PVT. Yeah, for the most part. Not Tony G, clearly. No problemo. Big shout out again, yeah, Premier. Thank you. Bunker, 2 bunkers gonna go down. He is not collecting any gas, and he doesn't have any SCVs helping out the fight. He is going to lose 1 Marine there. These micro battles are always super important for both players because you can lose the game with 1 misclick. This bunker is in pretty good range. The cannon, don't think it will be in range, but 1 cannon will be up, which is always going to be helpful in these attacks. Cannons just do really well against Marines, especially if there aren't any medics or upgrades. More cannons will be going down here, or at least attempting to go down. He does have quite a few Marines, but I don't think the Protoss has lost even a single Zealot yet, and that is just not the best case scenario for the Orange player. He does have 2 bunkers, but they are over here. The 3rd bunker isn't going to be able to get down. All of these Marines, or all of these Zealots are doing a great job microing around, picking off Marines, and not allowing this bunker to get up, buying more and more time for these cannons to get up. That is their main purpose, is to stay alive so these cannons can get built. They're just protecting and doing a great job. These cannons are getting up close, really close to the main. Going to be right on all of the production. We do see a factory going down for Evil. His micro is pretty good, but I would say better micro for the Protoss player. Obviously, the Protoss does have an advantage, but we have seen Koreans hold this off no problem. And yeah, the first bunker is going to go down. Not very good, just not in the situation that you want to be as an Orange player. The Protoss player is just continuing to mass from his 3 gateways. He has building 1 cannon back at home just in case some kind of fire bat does go by. He realized that he's in a really great situation. The only way that he can lose is by some kind of fire bat run by to kill all of his probes, so he's not going to allow that to happen. He's going to play it safe, make sure he does get this W. I'm going to get these cannons closer and closer. These will start attacking the supply depots, which is just going to make Evil go farther and farther behind. He there is a little bit of a passion, maybe not. You'd have to take out this cannon, but he can't even be thinking about a run by right now because he's lost way too many units. These cannons are in range of this bunker. No tech lab going down on that factory yet. This bunker might be going down. Pretty good pull to repair that. But with the additional cannon DPS, I don't think this guy is going to be able to live. I don't know. He's still doing a pretty good job staying alive, but he is taking a lot of damage. Rebuilding some of these barracks over here. He did lift and float that guy over there, which is always good because you don't want to lose out on marine production. You just need to get an army ASAP. You want to be able to protect these siege tanks. These siege tanks want to be able to take out these cannons. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any further. Really good job with this bunker here. Going to still be annoying, though, because just always costing... It's just spending money that you don't really have when you're in this situation. He did get his academy down, so he's going to be able to start getting medics. Possibly range or stim. Probably range in this situation would be better. Zealots coming in here to reinforce these cannons. The bunker is going to go down. More cannons are going to start popping up. Well, that does go down, so it's getting inching closer and closer to the siege tank now being built. He doesn't have the gas or the minerals to get a siege mode upgrade. So yeah, not a good situation at all for our Terran player. He is doing an okay job surviving, but he just lost way too many Marines, and I feel like his death is inevitable. He will not be able to continue this hold much longer. I don't think the Zealots are going to start massing up. You can see our Protoss player is macroing pretty decently at home. He does have one gas, which is going to go for probably... we see Zealot speed a lot. He likes to go to the Reaver Zealot speed instead of going right for the DTs, but DTs also wouldn't be a terrible option. Probably doesn't have the gas, so I think it's probably going to be the Zealot speed. That is more likely with the one gas. His gas actually might time out nicely for when that Citadel finishes to have 150 gas. But meanwhile, this Protoss, actually these cannons are one cannon already in range of the command center. No tank, or one tank is going to pop out. I don't even know if it does have siege mode, but even if it does have siege mode, it doesn't have enough Marines or bunkers to really protect it. One bunker trying to go down, but even so, that would only be 4 Marines. It would take a while to kill these Zealots. Regardless, this main getting closer and closer to dying. No units left. We can see Legend Evil is supply stuck, trying to get some supply depots down, but I don't think he is going to have enough to hold on. He does try to get that tank siege up. He is pulling his SCVs to try to repair his main, but if that main goes down, there will be no chance, and it does. GG is called, and very nice Protoss push here by our Protoss player here, taking out Legend Evil. That would be his first SCW Terran loss. These guys didn't play in the regular season at all. So they did play in a tournament, but again, the replays were not easy to get a hold of. Maybe Premier, could you get a hold of those replays where they played in the Invitational in the first round? Did they post those replays? I don't even know. I don't even know if I checked, actually. But yeah, we're going to jump into the second game. See how she goes. See how she goes. It is, Mr. Terran. Thanks is Terran this time. Did I open the right one? Yeah, I did open the right one, because he was Zerg and all the things last time. And, no, wait, sorry. Evil, that looks like brown, but that is actually orange. Legend Evil is going to be the Terran in the top left again. It will be a rematch, the same races. We'll see if it's the same build. We'll see if Extra X is going to decide to go for the mid build. I don't see why he wouldn't. Evil dodged all good players all season. Oh, what's up, Kokanee? We do miss you here at the SCW. That is what the rumor is. He did not want to play any of the Gosus to keep his record. He does have a nice-looking record. And he did play some pretty good people, but he didn't play all the Gosus like Thanks and the legend Kokanee himself. So Extra X is going to go for the mid build. He's not going to change it up. We're going to see if it is going to be that 3 or 4 mid or gateways. I think it will depend on how quickly he scouts them. Maybe he just likes to go for the 3 gate all the time. I don't know. We'll see here. 3 or 4. 3 is actually more standard, but sometimes 4 if you want to get really aggressive. Feel like 3 with the forge is probably the best idea. It did work last time. I don't see why he would change it up. It is going to not be the first scout though, so Evil's not going to know the matchup right away, and X will not know exactly where he is. He went 2-1 versus Burrito. Whoever Burrito could have been. That's true. Burrito was ripping it up for a while, even though nobody knows who he is. Lots of speculation on Barito. A lot. He was pretty ghost, so I should have cast some of his replays. He actually had some of the most entertaining games I have ever seen, Mr. Barito. He won me over. I observed him one game, and I was like, wow, he massed vultures or something crazy. I'm like, pretty Gosu. Whoever... Well, that's still only one of the Gosus. Come on, RJB. Don't be biased. He could have played Kokanee a couple times. He could have played Thanks a couple times in the regular season, especially when he was up top. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I understand both sides of the argument. I don't blame him. He still won, right? Which is all that matters. I guess if you can mass enough games against people who are high enough to still get you the points, and you don't lose. He didn't lose against any of them. And he did win the tournament, right? All those players dodged him. The Vulture didn't want to play him, and Jose didn't want to play him. Those would have been some good series, I think, if they actually went down. And then he defeated Thanks. So Evil's definitely no slouch. He definitely is a very Gosu player. We're going to see how he does against this mid build. Again, though, one pylon is already established pretty close. Another pylon going to go down. He does have 2 probes in the base, and he will just be massing off of the 3 gateways. We do have the 3 gateway, and he did stop the gas again. He wanted to use all of his SCVs to collect minerals here. He is going to stack 5 SCVs out here to take out this cannon, which is a nice job, especially if you can pull these back without taking any losses. That's a very nice move, but then he's going to run in a bunch of Marines right into the Zealot arms. He's going to use these stacked SCVs to make these Zealots run away while he takes out that cannon. Pretty good defense so far, but while all of that is happening, he did throw down another cannon down here. He just needs to get one cannon really up to stop any kind of run-bys from the Terran and make any kind of battles that do go in that area into the Protoss' favor, because you just can't micro around a cannon. So you never happen. Big convo going on to defend him. It's a known fact. But yeah, Evil is scared player for once. Evil! He did win, and yeah, he's still pretty Gosu regardless of his playing habits. This guy's pretty good. He is... The biggest flaw, in my opinion, is just how similar he plays every single time. I feel like if you really study his replays, you could probably find a loophole into some of his builds here, some weaknesses. Because I feel like what he does is to like mass counter and kill what like the most standard builds are. Even though Mr. Extra X is getting his cannons up here again in a beautiful position, not really giving Evil a chance here at all, microing his Zealots way too well, ticking off way too many Marines while also making sure he doesn't lose any Zealots. You can see a lot of these are in really low health, and a lot of them have no shield at all. He is microing these very nicely, even though right as I say that, he does pick one off, but you can see at that last second, he was going to try to dodge it away. He was paying attention. Another bunker going down. More and more supply dying. More and more infrastructure going down. It looks like this mid build will be too powerful for our Protoss player, and he is going to take out Evil pretty quickly in this second game, even quicker than the first time. He scouted him later, and it took him less time to kill him. We are seeing that factory get up, but I don't think it will be in time. Hardly any bunkers left. The barracks production has stopped. The supply getting more and more out of control. The cannon's getting closer and closer to that main. This bunker is going to fall, and with that, I feel like GG is inevitably close by. These cannons are up in range of even the production facility. The Terran player is going to pull to try to repair this bunker, but I don't think it will work. It will not. Going to go down. And yeah, very nice 3 racks push. You see the 1 gas going down here for that eventual cybernetics core, and then he has just enough off one gas to get that Citadel of Adun. I do like that follow-up. It's not too tech-heavy, and yeah, you can apply a lot of pressure. I guarantee he probably had non-stop production, but then as I say that, he does have one gateway that isn't full, but he still was massing very nicely. Lots of cannons here. Gonna buy him lots of time. Very good job. Very nicely done. Doing a very, very good PVT. Tony G, you should cast this game sometime. Let me link it. Yeah, give me... I like to see good replays for show. And yeah, send them to me. Send them to me. Send them to me. I want to see it. I got a couple banked up. Sword sent me a couple good ones that I haven't watched. And Kokanee, actually, I have one in my folder that you sent me that I haven't casted yet. That's your clan? Are you the leader? Yeah, Kokanee, do it. Come play. Do it. Do it, Korean Slayer. Come slay the Korean... I guess there's not even that many Koreans. Come slay the Provirians that have taken over. Shout out to Boxer in Peru. Shout out to Boxer in Peru. So, oh, what a surprise. This is a hard game to win, you can tell already. Extra is going to be Protoss again, the most powerful race in the fastest community faux show. And Evil will be Zerg in a very unfortunate spot right under the Protoss player, which is going to allow mass drop harass to be super duper effective. He will guarantee get dropped quickly, and if you scout this, it's not even a bad idea to just go and get another hatchery somewhere else, because you're going to be dropped constantly, and yeah, it's just not going to be fun in a long game situation. Or maybe I guess you could either go for a pool first. We do see a lot of players choose that, but he doesn't know that the Protoss is on top of him, so he's going to play it safe. Throw down that hatchery pretty far out too, actually, here. A lot of people like to put it a little bit closer so you can kind of build a ring at the choke around it, which is pretty good against most units. Up here, there is a bigger or more of a chance to kind of run by perhaps, but I guess if you're against a Terran, you can push these forward. So I guess there is pros and cons of where that hatchery placement can be. Going to follow up pretty standard. Mr. Extra X is going to go for the Nexus first. That is the exact opposite of the mid build, so that can be pretty good to throw off your opponents if they have seen you mid build a couple times and then they get scared of the Protoss player. They are going to be a little bit more inclined to get extra defense, as they think that the mid build is a very big possibility. So it is good to throw in different builds like that. If you get two into one build, like I have said about Evil before, people can start to hard counter you if they know how you play, or if they've played you a lot or watched your replays. So I like this a lot. He's going to go for a super duper quick gas too. A gas is started before either of his gateways. So this is pretty greedy stuff by our Protoss player. He isn't worried about anything too early. We see two stack drones kind of come out here, perfectly timed by our Zerg player to throw up those sunken colonies to make sure he's not going to die to anything too early. He is going to be vulnerable to any kind of zealot run-bys with these placements. I'd like to place them here and here, but it does take a little bit for that creep to get up there, which is annoying. So throwing these down to here, not a bad idea. We do see a very quick cybernetic score here, so we're going to see if he's going to go for Reaver. I'd imagine this is a Reaver tech, but it could also be like some super quick zealot speed or anything. Who's in? You and Vulture, two noobs. If you join, it will be two noobs and a not noob. Play me, and I'll play on your tag and win season. Okay, pay me. Oh, pay me, and I'll play on your tag and win season. It's a big pot this time, Kokanee. If there's any time to come back, now is the time. What was that $500 prize pool this season? Oh, that's a lot of moolah, Kokanee. Get at it, bro. Get it. Come get it. We see that they have scouted each other now, or at least the Protoss has scouted the Zerg. He is going to know what the matchup is and what he is up against. The Zerg player is going to throw down a couple more sunken colonies so he doesn't die to zealots, and he wants to keep a couple links back here to make sure the run by isn't too easy. We do see the tech of choice is a robotics facility, which I did think was going to be the case. He will probably get a Citadel of Adun 2 to complement these Reavers with zealot legs. We know for a fact Thanks does like the quick leg speed with followed up with like either Storm or Reaver drops. Reaver drops are super duper good when they're microed by somebody with 320 APM, especially in these early games when you don't have, well, when you really need really good micro to make sure you're not sustaining too much damage. These drops are going to be out super duper quick. We're going to wait for that robotics facility to go down because that has to be what he is going to be dropping, as nothing else really would work out too well there. It does go down. These Lings aren't going to come in here, aren't going to be able to get in there to scout. He did stop his sunken production, and he does have a very quick layer, so this is... Okay, actually, it looks like it's possibly going to be a lurker. It looks like he's going to go for lurkers, maybe. Possibly the Korean lurker Muta strategy. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is. We haven't seen Legend Evil's Zerg yet. Only his Terran and Protoss. The dropship is completing. This drop is going to come out. I can't see this not doing a whole ton of damage. Unless these are all Hydralisks. No, they're not. They're just more drones. So he's going to have to rely on pulling. You do see a pretty good job of getting a Zergling. Oh, you know, he's just scouting. I thought he was going to put that over there to have a spot to pull his workers. This dropship is coming in here with only 3 zealots here. Are going to see what the path is. The blue did pull a couple of drones in case there was a Reaver in there. Not going to be the case. Oh, that's pretty ghost. I don't know what he did there to get that, but that was kind of cool. He kind of trapped the zealot. Don't know if he did that on purpose or if that was just a random glitch. We'll see if he does it again here somehow. Oh yeah, look at that. Maybe you can kind of trap it. He sends it, he stacks it there and then to attack. Pretty cool stuff there. Interesting. The first Reaver drop is coming in. There is 2 Hydralisks here in position with a couple of sunken colonies, so this might be able to pick off the dropship if it is clicked. Oh, they were in position. This dropship is going to try to get by. These Hydralisks will be able to pick off this dropship pretty quickly, possibly before it unloads 2 Reavers. Assuming the Reaver doesn't shoot quick enough to kill them all, because if they are all bunched up, the Reaver could even just go up front and start to take out. No matter what, this Reaver will be finding some damage. I imagine going to drop safely down over here underneath this Overlord and just move itself in. It knows that these 2 Reavers can kill these Hydralisks this early. Red or blue doing a pretty good job. Going to pick off the... No, not. He is going to save the dropship. 1 Reaver is going to have to sacrifice itself to save the cause. $2. I mean, you winning the season is a $500 already. I don't think first place gets 500. Isn't it split amongst the top 3? We do have 2 dropships here, and just a lot more robos coming down here. So, as I said earlier, he is going to definitely get dropped, even more so than I was initially assuming. And, yeah, it's just not going to be a fun game for Blue. Blue's going to be trying to climb himself out of a hole right from the beginning. Right as he would spawn himself into a hole, and he's just going to spend the whole time trying to dig himself out. We see a couple cannons going up here to make sure no counter drops or anything can come up here. And even block the Overlord sighting. I guess that's probably the main idea of this early on. A Zergling going to come out here, try to patrol to see if any drops are coming from the outside. We have a very nice Overlord spread around the map to get himself as much vision as possible, but I don't think the drops are going to be coming anywhere else than this top zone here. I guess they possibly could go somewhere else. If, yeah, I don't think so. I think he's going to find himself a spot each time in here. That wasn't the money one. There is one, at least one. I can't click on the other dropship. Oh, there is 2 Reavers in here and 2 Zealots. He hasn't dropped them yet, though. I'm not sure what he is waiting for. Maybe looking for where the drones are being pulled. Gonna drop down here. He is producing more and more dropships and Reavers. Again, a nice defense here by our blue player. Not losing anything too yet, but you can see his supply is getting lower and lower, and the Protoss units are a lot higher tech and better. I would like to see a couple of Corsairs here. There would be a lot of kills for any Corsairs that did come out. He does have a Stargate, but not sure what exactly he's going for. Possibly just right into carriers. He does have a super early fleet beacon. Trying to find his spots for these drops. Very good defense by Mr. Legend Evil. Doing a great job in this situation. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Actually, we know it's not going to be enough because these are all of Thanks wins. I don't know. I'm used to trying to act like my game. I don't know what's going to happen to make it more suspenseful. but we are supposed to be analyzing the replays more than casting them, but I am just kind of casting them because that is kind of the same way we can analyze it while we point ourselves out here. More Reavers being produced just off of 6 robotics facility that he built super duper early. His minerals are starting to get a little out of control. He needs to start spending it. He did get a little supply stuck there. We do hear a couple of Scourges taking out a couple of dropships. All of these dropships are full, but they are just running around. I feel like he could be taking out the front or doing something more than nothing, and it actually is going to give Blue a chance to get some counter damage on. I'm not sure if even double these Hydralisks would be able to kill Teal right now, but he is going to move himself on the offense. He has been getting himself a Hive and a Greater Spire, which probably is going to go down, yeah, right there, and that isn't going to be the worst idea, but I imagine Teal is going to go into a lot of starports here. These Hydralisks are going to move in, but there is a whole ton of Reavers, and Reavers are pretty good against Hydralisks. Gonna make sure that that does no damage. That just was not a good move by our blue player. He was trying to dig himself out of a hole, but he wasn't able to. Oh my goodness, look, I just got an emergency alert. Child abduction reported. Oh goodness. Jana Jafari, 5-year-old, 4 feet inches, short brown hair, suspect Solomon Jafari. Last seen in a minivan. If observed, call 911, a Terry Amber alert. Child abduction. Oh no. That's not good. Hopefully that kid's found. That is never good stuff there. Oh, but read the Amber Alert, the drop is going to go down, and mass Reaver drop lurkers are going to come out and do a little bit of damage, but not in time. He's going to lose his main, and with that, oh, look at that, he actually does have a hatchery over here. Pretty Gosu stuff. He was prepared for something else, but I don't think it's going to matter. His economy is dust. Blue is only getting more and more powerful. He was able to pull 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 drones away. He did do a very valiant job fighting. I think his biggest mistake was moving those Hydras out, but you gotta try something, right? And he did try it, but that will cost him the game. More and more dropships coming in to destroy. No economy that he does have left, and that will be GG. Very nicely done by Mr. Extra X. We are jumping into the final one. The final game of the SCW10 finals here. I can safely say that I no longer think any kind of conspiracies happened. These games all look pretty legit. I don't think anyone's throwing on purpose here. The final game here will be Extra X as Terran and Mr. Evil here as Zerg. So we actually haven't seen this matchup between these two yet, have we? Was it the first time? No, I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. The positions are pretty good for our Zerg player. He does have himself a corner spot, and our Terran player up here does have himself a middle spot. So that is always good for the Zerg player, which I feel like is definitely is a little bit vulnerable to Terran in the early games. A lot of pressures and cheeses that the Terran can do to the Zerg. Not too many all-ins the Zerg can do for the most part, because if you get a pool first, you're pretty much all in from the start, or you at least have to do some kind of damage for it to be worth it, or else your economy will just be so far behind compared to your enemy. And you can see that sometimes the 5 pool will just get defended, and the Zerg player will just leave right away or not leave, or just GG out right away, because he knows that he did not do enough, and it will just be a train of death upon him for the next however long the game lasts. We are seeing a little bit of a switch up here. Actually, never mind. This is thanks. So he is not evil. I got surprised there, thinking maybe he's doing something different, but either way, he's not doing something different. He's just going to do the 3 racks. He's going to send down his first SCV down to this middle spot. Not see it choke. He is going to be suspicious that his enemy is a Zerg player this time, and he is going to be right. The second scout is going to be the correct one. He did manage to micro that SCV pretty good. I'm pretty sure that Overlord did spot it, and if he doesn't see it run by, he should know that something is up. He is sending those 2 drones out, again, at a pretty nice time where those Sunkens will be able to start right as that hatchery pops out. goes through stuff, just saving every second, maximizing that's just really good. Not going to allow any kind of block to go down. He's going to have 2 sunken colonies up, which should make quick work of this bunker, even if it is full and repaired by 3 SCVs. They are going to try to get as much damage as they can do. 1 more sunken colony is going to go down for safety, just in case this does spiral out of control. I guess that could also be a path to run by. The sun colony would be up here all by itself. 1 does fall down, but this other guy is going to get up. Should make short work of this, especially accompanied with some Zerglings. Oh, I'm slouching almost out of screen here. And yeah, this pressure isn't going to do too much. He is possibly going to be vulnerable to some kind of Zergling pressure. Very early gas for Mr. Evil here. He has a pretty older school Zerg. Oof. I don't mind it at all. It gets your tech going up real nice, and you just are kind of a little bit vulnerable maybe to the 5 racks, but I guess if you get the lurkers up in time, you might be okay if your sunkens can hold. I'm not exactly sure what he does. He does have his 2 gas, so maybe he is going to go for the mid-build factory, the famous Kokanee TVZ. It is very possible. That's not a bad idea in these positions because his main is pretty far away. He does need to start them up here pretty soon. Actually, I guess he doesn't have the gas, so he is still pretty good here. He does look like by this SCV placement that he is going to build them at home. I guess it is a safer option. Yeah, he is going to throw down that factory at home. So there is going to be a little bit of a distance or a possibility that he isn't going to go for factory tech. He's going to go for some kind of starport tech. That is always a possibility, even if he just throws down the double starport to go for kind of mass drops. That can be good versus... Oh, no, look at that. Actually, Purple canceled that gas. Is he listening to the stream from the past? Canceling that gas. He is going to... Oh, what is this? He has a lot of Zerglings. What is Mr. Evil doing? A little strange here. Not opting for the gas. Maybe because he thought a Marine all-in was going and he needed the minerals. I'm not exactly sure what triggered that gas cancellation. But he isn't going to go for a mass gas strategy here. Which actually, I guess is also good. It all really depends. It really depends. I'm not sure what exactly Red is going to go for. It looks like maybe just a 1-1. Is he going to throw down another starport? I feel like he's going to go do a double starport. He's not making Marines right now. So it leads me to believe he's saving up for something. But no, he's just going to start it now. He must have just been microing somewhere else. More hatchery is going to go down. Still no gas thrown up for Mr. Evil. He is just working on getting a nice, good economy, which can be good. It's a little bit risky, but it is how a lot of Zergs are opting to play nowadays. They are skipping that Korean fast tech, which requires a lot of micro to opt for a little bit of a safer mass economy kind of thing. You do have to be worrisome about drops, though. And kind of anything going in. We are, just going to be a 3 racks 1-1-1. So nothing too cheesy. Just going to rely on a pretty standard push here with only 1 factory, though. He's not going to have the most tanks or the most Marines, but he is going to have a fairly early vessel, which will be good against lurkers, but that will not be the choice for our Zerg player. He did throw down 2 gas now. Going to fill those guys up. We're going to see, I'd imagine this is a Hydralisk build. Maybe a mass Zergling. I'm not exactly sure what Legends Evil's plan is quite yet. We do see medics joining the army here. And the first tank sieging up over here. Very nice spot. I do like that from the Terran player. It not only can target the hatchery and a bunch of sunken colonies, but it will be able to get some pot shots off versus any army that does decide to run by, if that is ever an option for the purple player. We do see the double Hydras going down, so he's going to try to go for both upgrades at once, the range and the speed upgrade, to have them both completing near the same time, so he can have those Hydras ready for battle ASAP. It's not a bad choice when you do go this kind of heavier, greedy style. He is throwing down quite a few more gases and his layer, so maybe he isn't going to go for straight up Hydras. He might be looking to tech into something else. We do see that first dropship coming out here. We do have 2 sunken colonies placed nicely for our Terran player that will prevent possibly a possible death here, because these fire bats, we have seen this before by tanks, are going to drop right down and try to stim right on top of the minerals. And they actually are going to do a good job there. Ooh, 11 kills. That is definitely worth it right there. 11, 12, 13. More and more drones getting burnt up. And yeah, that was definitely worth it. Meanwhile, he is pushing more and more forward in the front position here, taking out more and more sunkens, causing the purple player to have to build more and more spine or sunken colonies. I don't know if he's building... I'm not sure why he got the layer. I guess for possible lurker transition, I feel like you don't really need a layer and this much gas if you're going to go for this a lot of hatchery mass hydra kind of build. But yeah, I don't know. He could be... I guess he's not completely confident on what his plan is, because we saw him earlier cancel that gas. He might be freestyling right now, doing something out of his normal build repertoire. His supply isn't the worst supply though, 59,272. The Terran did go for the double starport, and he is throwing down another factory that I don't know if he can add a tech lab to that. Just relying on his constant teching. This siege tank there, almost on siege for a second, but realizing that there is a lot of pressure from these hydralisks, is going to siege back up. It has 7 kills here. Very nice tank position there. It is very nice to use these ledges as a barrier from the enemy. It is the ultimate wall, or ultimate protection from the ground. You can see the AI messing with him a little bit. Gonna get another kill there. What a sniper tank. This is the kind of tank that I would want to be in battle safely over on the space void, shooting away at anyone who dares come close in that very vulnerable position. Our purple player building more drones and overlords here. The first vessels are coming in here, gonna get picked off. Very nice, both off before they can, but again, this drop, very nice fire bat drop, going to get another pot shot off. I don't know exactly how many kills it got, but at this point, the purple player cannot be affording to be building more and more drones. He needs an army. The Terran player doesn't have the biggest army. It's definitely possible for the Zerg to kill this off if he doesn't sustain too much damage. But the Terran is going to methodically push closer and closer, make sure he doesn't lose any units when he doesn't need to, and he knows he's in a pretty good position. I don't know if he's scanned yet to see if there is a hive, but he is back here throwing down his triple, and his upgrades are all starting. More and more factories and starports slowly being added while he has a non-stop production. Lots of supply depots not near getting supply stuck. We do see the battle right here. This will probably be the game-deciding battle if purple does lose this. If red can manage to kill these hydralisks and sunken colonies, he will have a free reign for these tanks to get to the economy, and it will be GG. This tank gonna take out these sunken colonies, just gonna try to make this path easier for his infantry army that is just getting bigger and bigger. The tech getting stronger and stronger. And oh, we do see a little push there. Not going to do as much as he wants to. The Terran is going to push forward with these Marines before all these sunken colonies get finished, but it is going to be too much. They are going to back off. They don't want to all die. They need to save up for more of their tank brethren. These tanks are going to be really key. Oh, we did see a vessel go in there and actually take out... Oh, I missed that. Actually, let's rewind to see that. This game isn't too long. It does take a little bit to go, but we can watch it in fast forward. Don't miss it again. We're going to miss it again. Oh, he did. He went for a double vessel. 16, 15 kills. He did get 31 kills there. Very nicely done by Extra X, getting that damage done. That's why his army isn't the biggest. He has been harassing that even Tony G can't keep up with. This push barreling forward. He wants to clear a path for this bottom route, I imagine. Not even going to worry about the sun colonies over there. He knows that he does have to push forward, though, because he did just do critical damage to the economy. He knows the Zerg isn't going to have a bank. The Zerg is going to go in for one final push, one final hope to hold this army, but these Stim Marines, along with just these couple of tanks, are going to be more than enough. Evil is going to GG out, knowing that he's not going to be able to stop that next push or any kind of future pressure. More vessels were coming in here, too. That's probably what triggered the GT2 with that Hydralisk. So, yeah, very nicely done by Mr. Extra X here, getting the W's that he can, putting the conspiracy to rest. He is the yeah, he's gonna get the, oh my goodness, is that, what does that say? Oh, I thought I said 90 viewers for a second. That tripped me out, but it just says 10 viewers. Yeah, that is gonna be the GG. Bye, Mr. Thanks. Is that the replay you want me? Is that the same as the first one you sent? Yeah, RGB. Alright, should I cast it right now? Is that what you want? How long are we here on the stream? 40 minutes. Okay. Let's check out this RGP replay. Ooh, it does feature our boy Extra X, so it will be in the it will be good. Who is Mage X? Who is this guy that you is in your clan? What's his AKA? Eh? Eh? Oops. Replays. Saved. Alright, let's watch this replay sent in by our viewer here and replay finder, featuring one of his clanmates versus one of my clanmates, aka Extra X, who is thanks. Let's check it out. Extra X versus Mage AT. Mage X AT, is that his name? No, we'll take a look. We'll take a little gander here. This guy's pretty good, according to his stats so far. Mage XAT will be the Terran player, and let's see how his Terran goes against Mr. Extra X's Protoss, which, as we've seen, is pretty go-through. Let's check out actually Mage X's stats here quickly. We'll click on his name. He reset his stats. Oh no. He's 0-0 now. So I don't know what he was, but he beat Legend Boo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in a row. He did beat Thanks once, beat Angry Duck, and he beat Sail. So this guy is pretty ghostly, beating all the top players. He did lose to Hydra 3-0, but Hydra's pretty crazy good. Hydra lost to Boo twice. So yeah, lots of good games going on there. This is Mr. Mage X. He is pretty good. He's defeated a lot of the top players. I'm not sure exactly who he is. I don't think RJB God is going to tell us what the Smurf is. Mr. Extra X is going to be going for his mid build, not going to go for his Nexus first, going to go for his more aggressive Korean style mid build. Going to not get the first scout off. We do have the so far standard double barracks gone down here. We're going to be the third barracks in a nice little cool formation that will give these Marines a little pocket against any potential Zealot threat. The orange player has not scouted our white player yet. The longer that it takes for him to scout, the better it is for the Terran, because he'll be able to get himself more Marines up. The more Marines you have, the better it is, or the easier it is to micro versus Zealots. It's still not easy, but it is a little bit easier. And yeah, he's going to now send out one SCV to scout. It looks like these SCV is going to meet up with the probe, and they are going to see the matchup at the same time. This Marine going to come out here, get a couple pot shots off on that probe. That's always very good, because you want to kill the probe. It's usually better to target the probe than the cannons for the most part, because if you can kill the probe, you don't have to worry about any more cannons. Then you can kind of regain your choke, and no more probes can get in for a while, so you don't even have to worry about killing it until you can safely get siege tanks. This probe is going to get in here. This first Zealot is going to push these Marines back, going to get enough time to get a pylon potentially up. No forge quite yet for our orange player, just really concentrating on massing out Zealots right now. He knows that it is just important to keep your Zealot production and to pick off more and more Marines. He did pick off 2 there, losing only 1 in the meantime. A couple more Zealot Brethren's going to go in here, but you can see how it does snowball out if you do lose Zealots. You have to keep them alive just as much as you have to keep the Marines alive. Going to get 1 shot off there, but going to run back into that bunker, which will keep them safe. Very nice micro so far by our white player here. Only losing 2 Marines, I think, so far, and taking out 1 Zealot, which is not a bad trade at all. He does have his bunker up, and no cannons have been built yet. So white in a very good position so far, doing a great job. Gonna actually get his academy up and his fireback production start. And once firebacks and medics come out, this infantry army is actually going to be a lot stronger than these non-upgraded zealots at all. He still does, he does have a forge now. He's going to try to get some cannons up, but these cannons are a little bit later perhaps than last game. I guess he didn't get the scout off as early, so he didn't get that forge up right away. You don't need a forge versus Zerg, so you don't want to get it if you don't have to. And yeah, these Marines are still doing a pretty good job. They are fighting with these SCVs, which are going to block and mess up with the AI of these Zealots. More and more micro being done. Nice little move back to keep these Marines all alive and healed by the medics, but the cannons do get up. Gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 photon shots off before it does go down. Absolutely worth it there for sure, but these next batch of cannons aren't going to get up. I don't think so. If he does micro properly, there we go. Very nice micro by our white player, keeping all of these Marines alive, all of these Zealots chasing. He does lose 1 brother in there right as they give him a compliment. More and more cannons aren't going to get built. As the Zealots fall, though, they aren't going to be able to protect them. And if they're targeted, they got to target it. Firebat, what are you doing? There we go. He is going to target the cannon. Is going to take it down without only a couple photon shots getting up. But each photon shot just does so much damage to these little guys. Ooh, luckily that last one was a pylon. More and more cannons are going up, though. Orange being very, very aggressive with this push. The Terran player doing an excellent job, though, not losing too much army. You can see he's almost tied up the supply here. Definitely getting himself in a very great position. Mr. Thanks is always so close. He is getting these cannons up, but they're dying before they can get all of their brethren up. They're getting picked off with only getting a couple photon shots off. We can see this very, very close. Like each cannon just getting a couple shots off before it is falling. Very good job by the Terran player. This is definitely better for the Terran than it is for the Protoss. He does have the defender's advantage, so his reinforcements will be closer. But once all of these cannons get up, it will be too much. He does have to back off. He does have his factory up with a machine shot, but it is in pretty vulnerable position. I feel like these cannons might be able to reach that tech lab, and you need to keep that tech lab alive if you want to get siege mode, which is the whole purpose of getting the siege tanks. You want them in siege mode because then they outrage the tanks, and then you don't take as much damage. It's a lot better. More bunkers being thrown down here. He does have a command center up here, so Mr. White playing like a Mr. Beast, making some great choices, not panicking at all, defending very nicely, but our Mr. Extra X here is relentless with his push. You can see he has not done anything other than build cannons, gateways, and zealots. He does have his standard gas up here. We are going to see that core very soon. His minerals actually are right now getting a little bit out of control for the first time. He is going to have to possibly throw down a nexus or something. I don't know. He does have a lot of minerals, more minerals than he can even spend with his triple gateway, microing his heart out. The siege mode is actually probably going to get done here, and I don't think that this push is going to be a kill push. Our white player has defended very, very nicely, and yeah, he's gonna be able to tech up these tanks. These little cannons, though, aren't going to stop. It is still going to take a while, but he can possibly, if he does manage to kill this probe, do a counterattack from this top. He does have a way to get out. All of his production facilities are safe. Stim going to go down. He does want to take out this siege mode if he can, but it does look like it is completed. Just going to heal that up, and now the siege tank is going to be able to fight back. How is our Protoss player going to respond? We see the Citadel of Adun down now. He does have quite a bit of bag. Maybe he's saving that to just have to be able to mass cannons. But I don't know. I feel like he could be throwing down more gateways with that money. We do see Marine range is done, and it is going to take out that probe. And with that, I imagine that this first cannon push is officially over. And something a lot of Koreans do on Super Map 2 is racks, gas, first, fire back bunker. Kind of like Hardy's thing. I could tell you're enjoying this game. Yeah, this is very... I love to see the Terran push, or Terran hold for sure. Because I have a hard time with the mid-build cannon push. Mr. Boxer destroys me all the time with it. So does Mamba. I can hold it sometimes, but like it's just real hard to tech out of it. So I like a good Terran show here. I do wish Mr. There we go. We now are seeing the mass barracks being thrown down by our Protoss player here. He's realizing now that his bank is really big and that a counterattack is very, very possible. He's not going to be able to fight off a 5 racks double factory command center with only 3 gateways. His zealot speed, we can actually see in the top left, it is a quarter of the way done there, along with his +1 attack on his ground units. He's gonna have to build some pylons here though too. He is throwing down a lot of gateways, which I do like. His economy is now evening out a little bit more. We can see though that his supply is actually lower than white. So if white did have map packs right now, he could do what I can see right now in the replay is go for a counterattack at the top. You can see if he just ran down here, killed those zealots, killed that pylon, ran down into here, he could just kill the maid. Oh, it would be so easy if he map hacked to navigate his path there. But I'm not even sure if he scouted where the Protoss player is yet, so he couldn't even think about a counterattack regardless, because he doesn't even know where to attack. So he's just going to play it safe, probably reestablish his choke. He did throw down a couple scans. 3 scans there, not going to be the right spot though. More zealots with speed, going to come in here to try to delay this Protoss from establishing his choke. I'm going to do a pretty good job here. They did attack when this army was moved out here instead of being in this choke here. If it wasn't that choke, this would do little to no damage. So pretty good timing there with those zealots send out. The Protoss army is going to try to sandwich this Terran army, but the Terran army is also going to try to start building, taking over map control. We can see Extra X has done a pretty good job spending his minerals, now just getting supply stuck. He did build a lot of gateways, and he is going to be massing zealots from here. We see another attack in here. A very nice surround. Is going to get a lot of good shots off those tanks, and actually do pretty good versus that infantry there. It's all about the surround there, and very good job by ETRX. Those are little things that can completely change the game. That makes this push lose a lot of its momentum. He is going to have to wait for reinforcements, I believe, if he's going to have to go for it. Very nice here, too. 1 DT going to make Terran waste the scan there. Going to force him to be a little bit more cautious. Definitely going to have to get a vessel. Spending some gas on that isn't what you necessarily want to be doing with your gas. Somehow, Magex, is this replay corrupt or something? Is this corrupted? He only has 1 guys. Is he really affording all of this off 1 gas? That's crazy. He has 3 factory off of 1 gas? Really? I feel like you need more than that. That's actually pretty wild if that's accurate. This Protoss army, though, is really getting out of control, getting way more damage than you would expect with these 12 zealot armies. Getting very nice surrounds on this Terran army and really maximizing their DPS. The Terran, though, still doing a pretty good job, but I don't know how well it's going to do versus a High Templar. If this High Templar throws down a Storm, it would be devastating. Oh, going to micro it back a little bit. Not sure if yes, or I'm going to wait for possibly a better opportunity. But our Terran player here is going to be pretty vulnerable. I feel like he needs some more gas. He is going to, there we go. He is going to throw down a couple of refineries now. He is going to realize that, oh, maybe I need more than 1 geyser in order to build off of my factory units. Definitely like that idea. Going to throw down a bunch more gas now. Very nicely done. Next step I would like to... Oh, actually, he does have some SCVs out here. It's just to reestablish your choke. He does... Orange does have 1... a pylon up here, and when you see that as a Protoss player, all you want to do is drop. We do see a choke trying to be established here. Good target, by a good target and micro by Orange to pick that off and not let the AI take over and just kill itself. This pylon needs to be taken out, or else Orange will just be dropping there. Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea, throwing a turret there before you kill it to deter him from going over that spot. More and more Zealots pushing in here. High Templars getting some nice storms off. These storms can do a lot versus Marine medic armies. White is going to take a little while to be able to afford more tanks, as he made a little bit of a mistake, I think, early game, only getting one refinery on 3 or 4 factories that he did have up. I was even surprised that he could afford that with that. He must have got it really, really, really early and banked up a little bit of gas to try to spend without realizing it while he was microing his life out. So I don't blame him. It's always easier to point out these mistakes in a replay than when you're playing. I would probably have crumbled a lot earlier versus Mr. Thanks' mass zealot shenanigans here. We can see just how actually powerful these zealots can be when they are microed properly. Sometimes you feel like in T or PvT, you send zealots in and they all just die without doing anything. So this is a pretty nice showcase of zealot micro here, getting very good surrounds almost each and every time. We can see the turret ring is starting to happen for our Terran player. Still not the biggest defensive choke that I've seen, but as long as he doesn't plan to really move out, I guess this won't be too bad. But I feel like he could be doing this a lot more cost efficiently if he just threw down some bunkers here and there, and then after he got the bunkers, you can start building supply depots and refineries in front of them as you need them. I like this by the Protoss player, keeping these High Templars over here for just really quick storms. I'm going to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't get picked off. This barracks, each time it does get thrown down, is just more and more of a nuisance. That is a complete wall by our white player. So the only way to get by is to kill that, and the only way to kill that is if you target it. A very nice storm going down by Mr. Extra X, taking out every last infantry here. Only a couple of tanks, but tanks in a choke spot are pretty good. More and more army being massed and massed by Yellow, and Yellow has re-established map control and game control, I would say, for the most part. You can see that his supply is a lot higher, and his minerals are only going to get stronger. He's going to throw down some defensive cannons there to make sure he doesn't die to any kind of drop shenanigans or anything like that. And I imagine he is going to start teching into something else, unless he really thinks he can break this. Possibly can. A lot of storms going over there. You don't want to put 2 storms on top of each other right away. You want to have a little bit of time in between storms. 2 storms can take out a siege tank if they are not on top of each other, like instantly. And pretty good job so far for White. We do see a drop shutout with tanks. That is always nice. That's like the storm drop. Obviously a little bit less effective because it does take quite a bit of time for the siege tanks to drop and then siege up. And that usually players can pull their workers away in time. Another push coming in here. Not accompanied by any High Templar this time, so it will be a little bit more difficult to kill these Marines and medics. But every time he pushes here, he's just making sure that the Terran can't make up his choke. He's going to have so many minerals that losing them too cost efficiently is going to be a bad idea. But right as I said, he throws in a couple of High Templars to their death. They are luckily going to get 2 storms up. You are always have to be risky for when the Terran moves out, because if the Terran can move out, kill your army, and get you choked in, and you don't have a pylon on the map, which Orange, or if you don't have a probe on the map, which Orange does not have, it can be difficult. So, yeah, it's really going to be up to the Terran player here to just get himself in a position where he can move out. You need to have a pretty good economy, and you need to have pretty good production, so if you do lose your army, you can remass and quick enough that you don't just die to a counterattack. The Zealots moving in with High Templars. It looks like that is going to be the choice for the kill move of Orange. These storms are just doing tons of damage. He is spacing them out nicely, not targeting the High Templars at all, but these siege tanks, they can just siege it once they get produced, and they'll just put themselves in a pretty good position here with these factories blocking them. So it is going to be difficult for the Protoss to finish. He has broken the choke, and he is in a really good position, though. He is definitely doing significant damage to our Terran player, less and less so each time that he does do this. He did sneak, oh my goodness, he did sneak a High Templar down here. Is he going to be able to get that storm off? He's definitely paying attention to it. I don't know what he's waiting for. Maybe energy. Yeah, he doesn't have enough energy. He just snuck that down there. Did make White freak out. That would have been Gosu if he did have energy. That was a sneaky, sneaky little High Templar that almost got down there. We can see this non-stop pressure by our Protoss player. It looks like these Zealots are actually rallied right to the choke. So that is that's a benefit of rallying. It takes a little bit to do it sometimes, but then you save so much time in the long run the more and more you do mass. So I do recommend trying to fit in some time to rally all your gateways. It's also good for recalls too. You don't have to move all your units to recall. You can just mass, and then keep recalling. If you do have a bunch of arbiters, your units will always be in position. That is just another benefit of the rally point. I could go on and on. I definitely recommend to rally all of your production facilities. Basically, it's a good idea. You can definitely find a good spot. This drop sneaking in here all by himself is going to be able to drop a High Templar, but he's trying to get it off. It looked like he was about to cast it. He did his little, like, I'm about to cast it, and then he didn't do it. A little disappointing life for that High Templar. He was really hoping to bring a nice victory home. That could have been a kill blow if he was able to get all of those SCVs. We can see our Terran army, or the Terran economy, is not well. He is really spending his money a lot, really having to non-stop make units, as he hasn't been able to make a choke that can have cost-efficient battles. These Zealots coming in here, taking out turrets, which is just going to cost the Terran more army and SCVs to repair and fix. Another drop coming in here by our Terran player. Is it going to go off? It does go off, but it's not a Zerg player. He clicks the command center, and that will do nothing. A biffed drop. They're going to call that a biffed drop there. He definitely could have clicked on that mineral. That was a big-time misclick. Costly misclick by our Protoss player. That definitely could have killed. Another drop without any Corsairs are going to go in here. I don't know why he doesn't just add one Corsair in here. One of them is actually full of Zealots here. 2 High Templars, one goes down and it dies. One more High Templar! Storm! Oh my goodness, he's not going to, I don't know, he needs a hotkey as High Templars or something. Extra X trying to keep our Terran player alive. If any of those drops went down even once, I feel like it basically would have been GG. The Terran may not have had enough economy to continue holding these non-stop Zealot pushes. Now he is going to be adding Corsair. I bet you now he's going to hotkey these High Templars too. He is sick of failing these drops. Now it's like 3 times there. He definitely had, those High Templars were definitely alive enough to get a storm off if he did have them hotkeyed properly. A lot of cannons going down for our Protoss player here. He's worried about a possible nuke drop or something. I don't know. Gonna get extra cannon. I guess that's just good for drop defense too. Not gonna blame him there. More and more drops incoming. Doesn't look like he is going to stop dropping anytime soon. He only has 2 tanks here, and they're pretty far away, so I don't know how hopeful they're going to be in this drop. Now, this time, these High Templars are definitely going to throw down some storms. Oh, I had an A, and I didn't get to see the kills that time. But it did get more than 1, which is definitely a win. He did pull quite a few SCVs, which is good. He's got his science facility over here, which is in range, which will give him a pull zone, which is always what you need against a Protoss player, because you know that storm drops and every kind of drop will be hitting you eventually. The later the game goes on, the more likely you are to see all that stuff. He does have 6 Stargates, though. To build Corsair is probably going to transition into carriers eventually. A nice drop, or a nice pull by our white player. This High Templar dropped into a not good location, which is completely out of range anyway. It would be sweet if he was able to micro at home. He was going to try to send that back. This High Templar is going to throw down a storm to make sure his life isn't in vain. He will die, getting 7 kills. Not too bad. That's basically a serial killer in real life. And that's not bad at all by Mr. High Templar. More and more drops are going to be coming in non-stop. I imagine that he is going to slowly transition into carriers. I don't know. He hasn't been massing his Zealots like usual, just focusing on these drops. Our Terran player doing a great job defending this, though. A storm gonna go down, only gonna get 14 kills, and another storm gonna go down there. Just any storm that can land on anything that's white is good in this situation. We do see just more and more Corsairs now mass zealot wave coming in here. Going to be trying to apply more and more pressure. No turrets here to kill these dropships, so our orange player will be able to see that the Terran is definitely hurting you, because if he had anything to kill that, he definitely would be doing it. Will be good to kind of pull out of the way. When your next drop comes in, you can kind of hide it into your hotkeys, or just move it when you can, or just let it die because you forget about it. Another massive drop gonna come in for our orange player. He is doing a good job killing it, but white is also doing a good job massing up. His drop, or his push, is going to come out eventually. I imagine after he defends his drop, he may try to push out. Orange hasn't expanded or anything yet, so if he can somehow get map control and keep his main, he could put himself in a pretty good position. He's definitely not dead, despite taking a lot of damages. Ooh, those siege tanks actually almost blew up his main there on that splash damage. That wouldn't have been good, killing your own main on a splash dash. Our orange player has started his little cannon wall to make sure nothing sneaky can come out from our white player. Our white player does have a dropship out here. That is his pull zone right over here. That's where he is pulling all of his workers each time. He still doesn't really have much defense at his choke. Cannons are starting to mass up here. That usually means that carriers are coming once you start trying to stop or delay the Terran from pushing out. That usually is a sign that carriers are coming. He doesn't have many starports at all. Doesn't have a covert ops either, so he's not going to be able to build Goliath or Race. Really, not going to build Goliath. He can't. Yeah, he's not going to be able to build much anti-air, as his economy has been taking hits all game long. Still, though, doing a great job here, living and getting all of his production facility in. This drop is coming in here, pulling a very awesome pull by our white player. Going to make sure he keeps those SCVs alive. All these storms going to go down, trying to maximize their damage. But definitely, I'd say still worth it here. You want to keep the economy low. I like that a lot here. Vultures coming out here and going to build some Widow Mines. That is definitely really good versus Zealots. Faux show, especially if those Zealots don't have observers. You don't see this utilized too often, but when you're... Actually, I guess I was about to say, when you don't have much mineral... We don't have much gas, you can build a lot of vultures to kind of even... Or let your gas build up, because, of course, they only cost minerals. They are the Marines of the factory. We see another massive drop gonna come in here. No carrier production yet. More cannons are gonna go down here. He is assuming that some kind of pressure will be coming eventually from our white in maybe a drop form. Another drop come here. I feel like he should be dropping maybe a little bit higher up here so he can intercept the path of these SCVs that are pulling. Not gonna pull them too far this time, and the splash damage is scaring me this time. Again, he almost took out all of his SCVs there. Not sure if he is going to decide now is the time to move out. We do see the... Oh, no, that's just Mass Arbiter. Wow, look at that. 4 Arbiters being produced right now. Looks like he may start to do some recall. The white player looks like he's going to try to counter some... or do some counter pressure here with his 4-tank, 3-vulture army. It can be good to just pick off the mid build if it is massing cannons. Because if Orange was going carriers, he won't have too much of a ground army. So you want to be trying to take out those cannons during that transition. So when you do decide to do your massive counterattack, you don't have to keep sieging and unsieging. Another drop coming in here in a better position, but he drops the High Templar first instead of the Zealots. He needs to drop Zealot High Templar. So They have to kill that before targeting the High Templar, so not the best drop. Maybe he thought he was out of position from those siege tanks, but still, I don't know why he did that. More and more starports being built in the home base from Orange. Going to try to drop from up here. He's going to accidentally see that dropship from White. I wouldn't have minded if he did just click a Corsair to follow that and take it out, because he should know that it's there for a reason, not just randomly. People of this high level don't usually have random units on the map. Gonna go from the top zone, but doesn't even have a zealot here, so I feel like there's a 0% chance this does anything at all. The High Templar is gonna get picked off immediately, but maybe that was just a distraction for this drop. What do I know? Another drop is coming in here. It is going to get where the pull zone is, but again, he drops the High Templar before the zealot, and it's not going to do any damage. Enough tanks here to pick that off as they unload. The Arbiters are done. Looks like it's going to be a possible mass, or not a possible mass, but a possible recall strategy coming up here. You can also try to freeze all the tanks in the back when they clump up like this. If you can just freeze all them, you can get in a nice position to kill them if they do unfreeze. The Terran player now maxed and now is building himself up a bank. He has defended the last couple of drops without taking any damage at all. His upgrades are 3-3 and on the factory and 2-3 on his infantry. The Protoss is at 3-2-3. Don't know if he started his he hasn't. Look at that. He's building a lot of arbiters. 4 more arbiters coming out. So it looks like it's going to be a mass recall strategy. But instead of hallucinating, he's just going to send in 4 at a time. We'll see how this goes. This is a Korea-style recall. A Korea-style recall for show. These High Templars, I don't know where they're going. And I'm not... White is actually preparing for a mass recall, perhaps, here. He's moved all of his tanks from his front to his main, preparing for something suspicious to come in here. Doesn't have the most turrets here, so he could be very vulnerable to this pending attack coming up here. We'll see if Thanks is going to... Yes, he's going to send in an Arbiter. The thing is, the Corsairs don't protect the Arbiter because the Arbiter cloaks the Corsairs, so you can't send them in together. He is going to try to save it, but it isn't going to work. He's going to drop all of these drops that were full, so I don't even know. Maybe that was the defense for that drop? I'm not exactly sure what the logic behind that was there. Maybe he just kind of forgot that Corsairs will be cloaked by the Arbiter. I know that when I first learned that, I forgot. I'm like, oh, why don't you just send in some Corsairs with your Arbiter instead of mass hallucination? But then your Arbiter cloaks all of the... Oh, look at that! Look at that hotkey there, making sure he doesn't miss that. Very nicely done by Mr. Extra X there. Going to reset the SCV mineral count for our Terran player. Also take out a big chunk of him down here. Very nice move. Definitely worth it there for our orange player, Hundi P. He does have another recall, or another Arbiter coming in here, which I'm sure will be a recall. Sending in the dropships just because. Going to do another recall here. He did pull his SCVs here, but he doesn't even have that many, so just stalling the economy for our white player. Our white player could... Or actually, it looks like he is actually using this moment of low workerage to make up a very mass army. If you can get a 200 Terran army, the Protoss could possibly be in trouble. He is still building 4 Arbiters at a time. Looks like he's going to try to kill him from this little strategy of recalling here. It is better than drops, I suppose. But I feel like if he went carriers a while ago, he could have already won this game. He did build the starports, but yeah, he is just going to try to do another mass recall here. Pretty good job here by White trying to rebuild his infrastructure as much as possible. a big white pony. You want me to go StarCraft? I'll just repeat what you said. Go StarCraft. I won't make any assumptions of what that means. We do see these tanks gonna make a little forward push out here, taking out some of the middle cannons that will eventually clear the route to the orange player's base. Another recall of Mass Zealot High Templars is going to come in here and continue to pick off these turrets. Another Arbiter is going to come in. It is going to recall. And another very quick storm by our orange player, storming the tanks here, opting to do that to take them out so he can get more and more damaged areas here. All tanks now. It looks like it's almost 200 tanks. Or not 200 tanks, but basically 200 tanks. Another very quick storm by our Protoss player. Definitely getting some good shots off here. Oh, my throat is starting to get dry. I need a drink. Just 1 second. Let me grab a Pepsi. Ah! Meanwhile, I missed another recall. I guess that's why you like to build 4 ARBs at a time. You can do this cool 4 ARB in a row attack. Really doing damage to our Terran player's economy, but he has started to move out. His bank and production may be big enough now to try to get across the map, but it's going to be difficult to have the right composition of attacking and defending units. Another recall coming in here. Going to just keep picking away at the Protoss in its base. Ah! We can see Orange had to re-rally all of his units. You definitely don't want to forget to do that. Trying to save a couple High Templars that just produced out of here. Our orange player our white player has moved out on the map. Another recall gonna come in here with an instant storm. Very nicely done. Very nice storms here by our orange player. I like it. I like it a lot. The white player did pull it back, but it is going to be able to pick off all the High Templars. We do have an Arbiter actually doing some work here. White has cleared out all the cannons on the middle of the map, and he is going to look to try to pressure. He is a couple supply depots supply stuck here, and it doesn't look like these recalls are going to stop anytime soon. It looks like Orange's plan is to recall all of his units into white, and then just hope he can survive at home. He knows that he'll be able to produce units for days. Oh, very nice recall there, right on top of all of those siege tanks. I like that a lot. Oh, excuse me. Still very nice job by our white player, keeping as many SCVs alive, as possible. But Orange has really capitalized on this space here, sending in yet another Arbiter. He's just stacking these up, and he's just recalling non-stop. I love it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Not a bad strategy by Mr. Orange. I was a little skeptical at why is he building 4 ARBs at non-stop? That's like, is he just gonna mass ARBs? But no, his plan is to just keep sending them in without hallucinations. Every time they get up to 150 energy, he's going to take a little gander in, even a little bit earlier, so he can stay alive for 3 more seconds before he recalls. He's confident he will have time to get in there, and he is right. White still has not yet pushed forward, but he does have map control. Orange, not too concerned about that, just really going to make sure White doesn't have an economy. Losing those supply depots, he is getting more and more supplies stuck, doing his best to defend, but his economy is almost nothing. Just not being able to defend these recalls on the economy that he does have, even with these mass tanks. Oh, losing more and more supply depots, our white player. Opting to maybe move home to defend, knowing that he does not have the economy to attack. Still rebuilding the turret, and he still does have his main. So it's not like he is dead yet, but he is definitely taking shots. Very nice EMP there. That's going to land right away. It actually was a little bit too early, though. EMP is so annoying. It's so hard to actually land proper EMP sometimes, it feels like. And that is a great because of it. He's using Arbiter because he can't storm using shuttles. Yeah, that is true. He missed like those first 4 drops. So at least he's hotkeying his High Templar when he recalls. Yeah, because I don't think he was hotkeying his High Templar when he storm dropped. And I don't know why he was dropping his High Templar before his Zealot. Like the whole reason of putting the Zealot in the dropship is to tank damage, and he just was not doing that. We do see the tank line down here is going. All of these tanks should be able to hold a recall now. Now that he has 36 tanks surrounding his main, maybe he'll be able to. But now that he moved all of those tanks down here, Orange is starting to just mass in the front, doing a great job pulling this Terran player apart. It does take 38 minutes, but a turtling Terran can be very hard to kill. I'm not saying he was turtling, but he was doing the smartest thing that he could be doing in this situation. He shouldn't call himself a champ. Well, he did win a game before, a season before. He's definitely good. But Protoss, I think, is his weakest. Right? Oh, look at that. Nice little freeze on all of the SCV workers. I love it. That is a Mamba move. The first time I saw that done was Mamba. He did that to me. Masked Arbiters, when he was on top of me, kept freezing all of my workers. It's almost more effective than storming because they're just sitting there. Because now he just has a million SCVs, but they all aren't just doing anything. You can see he has 12 minerals. Not going to be able to rebuild his economy and supply depots. These mass tanks are going to be able to holding on, but for how long? These Arbiters are actually going to be able to take out these tanks eventually. There is actually enough of them to kill all of the anti-air that our Terran player does have, aka he does not have any anti-air at all. That's why I feel like the carriers would be really good. He's going to go in here and probably freeze. Oh no, he's going to go to a recall and an insta storm again, just to put the icing on the cake. It's one of those spots where you don't really want to leave because technically you're not dead, even though you know you're dead trolling. I figured you were just trolling. You're just never sure. He's definitely a go-through son. I especially like his Zerg. That's why I was so suspicious of him losing those 4 games in a row of Zerg. But I guess after you watch all of these games, he was definitely fighting for his life. Those other games that we saw, we are going to see a GG called after another storm. He is going to eventually whittle down the Terran into nothing. That was a pretty good game, pretty long game that you recommended there, sir. But definitely a good game. Mr. Magex, we're going to have to watch out for him. He's pretty go-through. And Extra X, of course, he's always a contender. Every tournament he's in, he's a contender to win. Every season that he participates in, he is a contender to win. He is a top-level Gosu dog, and I apologize for suspecting you of that earlier last video conspiracy theory. Premier has cleared your name, and you're good to go. Extra X again in the 300 APM there. Mr. Mage XAT at the 195. Definitely a dirty recall strat. I like that a lot. The 4 ARBs, not even going to bother about the hallucination. And yeah, the non-stop recall. I like it. Big fan. Big fan of that. Okay, I am going to end the stream now because I need to get some food. The Zerg wasn't even trying. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know, man. It's hard to say. After you watch these other replays, yeah, I will say. I will say that I'm not nearly as suspicious as I was yesterday. I feel like it must have been legit. I still wish they would have. Maybe I was just a little upset that they didn't let me obs live. So I was just looking for some kind of controversy. Like, oh, look at what happened. If Tony G was there, he would have not let it happen. But whatever, it looks like it was all fair stuff. We see some good games for thanks. Our extra Gosu. And yeah, perhaps today I will actually come on and play some SCW games for you guys. I bailed on it yesterday. I don't know why. I probably just got a little too high. So yeah, I'm gonna end the stream for today for now. Or not for today, for now. Gonna get some food. And perhaps I'll be back to stream some SCW games. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a little comment below, and all of that fun stuff. I love each and every single one of you, especially ICC Cup Core, RJB, Big White Pony, and Kokanee T. Everyone else who commented today. I appreciate all you guys talking in the chat. Love each and every single one of you. And until next time, it's your boy, Tony G.